Welcome to the Realtor Who Wines podcast. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your hostess with the mostest, a student of life, a connector, a passionate wine enthusiast, and your local favorite guide. Join me as we explore the vibrant Pacific Northwest, savor the finest wines, and champion the spirit of entrepreneurship. Each episode, I'll sit down with inspiring guests, supporting business ownership, and uncovering the stories that make this community unique. So grab a glass of wine, settle in, and let's embark on a journey of discovery and connection together. Cheers! Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Realtor Who Wines. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your local realtor who loves to wine. I am with Winemaker extraordinaire. I cannot wait for her to share her brand with you, her wine with you. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to cheers you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Before we dive in, it's really refreshing. That's so good.
Such a good summer wine.
It is. And to all things wine, would you introduce yourself to everybody?
Absolutely. My name is Jennifer Warner. I am now in my second year winemaker. It is more of a passion project. It's not how I pay the bills yet, so I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I feel very fortunate that I have another career outside of this, and talking with winemakers, I'm sure you're hearing this often. A lot of us do have a 9 to 5, and then we're doing this on the side, and it's kind of a passion project. So, I'm in my second vintage. So first year was my first year and learning a lot. I'm still learning a lot. It's an endless kind of sea of
for sure.
information. In a past life was a lawyer. I went to law school because I wasn't good at science at Vineyard, and here I am now, like at 38 years old, trying to learn science and math.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's actually, it's so funny. One of the reasons I wanted to do the podcast was to showcase how wine is made and like how much goes into it. So it's not just like bottoms up, it's not just that kind of situation, because I don't think people think truly about the farming that goes behind it, and then the chemistry of the perfect balance, and then what happens when it's sitting and fermenting and then to the bottle, and just it's a whole process, and so much love and hard work goes into each bottle.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can relate so much. In my first year, made only white wines. Well, I made a white and a rosé, which, from a technical standpoint is a white wine. I mean, it sits for a couple of hours and then we press it. But this is the first year I'm taking on a red wine. And I was at the winery a couple hours ago, like, what am I doing? Trying to sort those things out. But it's such an adventure, and I'm having so much fun with it.
Yeah. I know that you didn't grow up in this area.
I did not.
You moved here how long ago?
I've been in Oregon for about 8 years now.
Okay.
No, gosh, it's been longer than that, like 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Salem for 7. Prior to that, I was in Arizona for 7 or 8 years. And before that, I was in Wisconsin, where I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have a background in wine. It was just being exposed to the Willamette Valley that really got you into it.
It is. I mean, growing up, we had beer, we had spirits. Occasionally, like, wine would be brought out for like a special event.
Sure.
But like,
the Midwest is more like fruit forward wines, like a pear wine or peach wine. Yeah.
I actually went home recently, and like my parents are getting really into wine, like understanding it, not necessarily drinking it, but they're like, let's go to the biggest grocery store we have here and go check out the liquor department and the wine aisle. And it's like mostly fruit wines and stuff like that. There was a really great winery, though, that I bought a bottle of dry Riesling and a bottle of Pinot Noir that were produced and made in Wisconsin, and they were fabulous.
That's awesome.
Like, people think all these other states aren't making good wines, and you can find them.
No, they are. I mean, it's just they can only control what they can control. Sure. It's not like Texas' fault if they can't grow certain kind of grapes, right? So then they bring them in from Oregon, which is also great from us.
Yeah.
Or California or Washington or whatever.
Totally. These were actually grown, and I think it's a special clone that's frost resistant.
Oh, nice.
But like, I mean, you could put it side by side with an Oregon Pinot and be like,
that's awesome.
It stands up. It was great.
I love that.
Yeah.
What, besides just being exposed to wineries all around, we're in wine country for sure, was there anything in particular that made you think like, I want to learn more about that? Like, what was it about the wine industry that spoke to you?
I took a very strange route into it, like most of us do. During COVID, I started brewing cider at home. I'm a big cider drinker, love cider, still drink a lot of it. You can only drink so much wine, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, during COVID, I started brewing wine or cider, and I brewed some beer for my husband too, which it turned out great, but I'm not much of a beer drinker. And I was like, man, I really like doing this. This is so fun. Like, and we're in the perfect, Pacific Northwest is cider land.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to learn more about this. Like, I got to find some education. So I'd started kind of going down that once the world reopened again. And I was like, well, OSU had a program that was like a week-long intensive in cider production where you get to go in, work on all the big equipment. I was like, that's kind of cool, but like a week it's like so short of amount of time. I feel like I'm not going to learn what I need to learn in that amount of time. So then I was just like, all right, we'll see what happens. And then one of my neighbors actually passed away, and she was a educator, and her funeral service was at Chemeketa's wine room.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I know Chemeketa. I know wine. Like, what's going on here? So, a couple weeks later, I investigated that, and I was like, wow, they have like a whole wine school literally right down the street from me.
Yeah, they really do. And it's beautiful.
It's so awesome. I think I've taken like 8 or 9 classes at this point, just very like part-time dabbling. Went in with no intentions on making wine on a commercial scale, just kind of wanted to learn more and
more of a hobby at that point.
Yeah, for sure. And then I had an opportunity to apply to an incubator program that were looking to help people who've never had a commercial production make wine. And I applied to that and I got it.
That's amazing.
So it was like a very quick path, but it's very interesting being like, I'm a winemaker, but I've never worked under anybody. I've never worked in another person's winery. Like, I just went straight into it. And it's
I love that though.
It is.
Both feet jump first. Yeah, I love that.
It's terrifying, but I mean, I work out of a collaborative space, so there's always someone to like bounce ideas off of, someone to lend a hand if you're trying to move something heavy or whatever. So it's been really fun.
And is that where you make the wine, as like in a co-op type space? So you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. It's up in Milwaukee. It's called ABP. The owner, she originally owned a wine club in Portland. She was not a wine producer, but she was curating Oregon wines for a wine club, which I thought was a really cool idea. And I think they still exist. I think she sold it to someone else. But she was seeing all these small producers getting pushed out of their spaces, and she was kind enough to open a space for us to exist.
Yeah, I love that, because not everybody, like you, for example, you're doing smaller batches and stuff, and at first you're dabbling, right? And so you're like, well, I don't have the investment to like just have my own
oh my God, it's
production area. So it's so nice that there are these co-ops throughout the Willamette Valley and probably in other states as well, but that like you can come and make your batches of wine and press your grapes and do all the things you need to do.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even a lot of wineries that don't advertise that they do that, but a lot of places will rent out their space to friends or, other people they know in the industry too. So it's all over the place.
I love the name Dagger Daisy.
Thank you.
Will you talk a little bit about the inspiration and how that name came about?
Sure. It's been really fun getting to the sales part of it and getting to talk with people and like seeing people's reaction to it. And most people are the same. They're like, that's so cool. Like, what does it mean? Where did it come from?
Well, it's so like, for me, it's kind of like a woman, right? Like we can be very feminine, like a daisy, but also don't fuck with us.
Yes.
Like at the same
you got
time.
it.
Yeah, nailed it.
You totally got it. So when I started working on the branding, I had a really good idea of what I wanted the imagery to be, which like that was an easy no-brainer. But then I was like, now I got to come up with a name for this. And I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and all of my businesses have been boring and have had very boring names. I literally worked for a law firm at one point. Their name was Legal Helpers.
Right.
Like, so I was like, I gotta like really knock this out of the park and like figure this out.
Okay.
You have one shot to like name a business, right?
Right.
So I wrote down a ton of names that were all kind of like witchy, ethereal, but always a play on like dark and light, gothic and girly, feminine, masculine, that kind of vibe. So I probably wrote down like 300 names in a notebook, narrowed it down to like 10. Then I checked LLC records.
Oh, sure. Like, and does anybody have these names or anything like that?
There actually is another Dagger Daisy that I think is like a jewelry brand or something like that, like a small like Etsy store. So I was like, I'm sure they won't mind.
Right.
In a completely different segment, you know?
Yeah.
Also to check trademarks. A lot of the names I came up with were fine. So it was like, okay, I gotta narrow this down. And I settled on that name, and then I let it sit for like 3 or 4 weeks before I filed any paperwork or did anything. Told my friends, told my family.
Yeah, get a reaction.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, some people were like, I don't know. Some people were like, that's really cool, I like it. But I think with the imagery and everything, the reception's been really good.
Yeah,
so,
the branding's great. Did you design the label, or did you have someone?
I designed the typography, the logo, the actual artwork that's on the front of the bottle I bought from an artist, and then like kind of made it my own with filtering and stuff like that. But yeah, typography is like wild. The back of this label took me so long because I'm not an experienced graphic designer, and I'm very much bootstrapped. So like hiring a graphic designer in the beginning was not something I was
and it's
ready
hard
to do.
It's hard to hire somebody in any position if you don't know how to give direction too. So
Totally.
If you didn't know what you wanted, how could you say, until you started playing with it yourself, like, hey, can you make a label look like this? Because you don't know until you mess with it yourself.
Yeah, that was me literally in Canva and my printer sitting on the floor, printing it over and over again, cutting it to the shape and pasting it on a little bottle. And there's still a few tweaks that I would probably make now that it's on the bottle, but we've got next year. So
yeah, you can always be like, new label release. Yeah, all of that. Talk about how you decided to do these two varieties.
Sure. Coming in, as a cider drinker, Sauvignon Blanc is like perfection to me. Like, I have some Sauvignon Blanc in barrels right now that's not completely done fermenting yet, but I was like, I get why this is my favorite varietal, because right now it tastes just like cider. Like, it's a little sweeter than I would prefer, but so going in, like, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I like. It's easy to sell, and that has transpired. Like, when you really enjoy something, it's easy to talk to people about it and sell it. And so yeah, that's been great.
Well, that's another nice way, because we are in like Pinot Noir country, so it's also just a nice way to like stand out or be a little bit separate, is to start with not a Pinot Noir.
Yeah, I think small producers that are coming out with Pinot and Chardonnay are like nuts. I say as someone who has a Pinot Rosé. But yeah, I mean, there are so many people who are making really beautiful Pinots, like, and they have like 3 generations of history doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't compete with that, you know?
Yeah, and it's hard to. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of smaller producers, especially where I'm working out, they're working with different varieties, and I think that's a good space to be in. And yeah, Sauvignon Blanc is like, I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so easy to drink. It's refreshing.
It's totally refreshing.
Some people hate it. Like, but I've converted a couple of people.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a nice acid, so you can eat it with anything, with a rich fat food, spicy food. I mean, it goes well with everything.
Yeah.
And on its own too.
I think it'd be really good with Thai food.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I took a sip, I was like, I'm in the mood for Thai food. Yeah.
Yeah, anything.
And then the Pinot Noir Rosé. So which one was first?
They both were made in 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this came in first and that came in second, but yeah, same season. So, yeah, the Pinot Noir Rosé, that is from the Willamette Valley, and that one was a little more challenging than the Sauvignon Blanc to make. Pinot's a little more finicky, and the Sauvignon Blanc was farmed really well. So I got that from OSU's Research Vineyard in Southern Oregon. They literally have like PhD teachers and students working on it. Like, they know what they're doing. The chemistry on it came back beautifully.
Well, and that area grows that variety really well.
They do.
The weather and everything, the temperament, the soil, it's perfect for those kind of grapes.
We are starting to see a lot of people planting it in the valley too, which I don't know that I've had a Sauv Blanc from the Valley, but
I don't think I have.
I'm
Normally it's sourced somewhere else, but yeah.
I'm excited to try it. I think the temperatures are kind of starting to go the right way for it. So, but yeah, it's really fun. Like getting into this in 2024, you're like, there's not a ton of Sauvignon Blanc. And just in the last year, like the amount of people I've seen bringing it into the winery, the amount of people I've been seeing it on the market, like it's a very big growing segment, which for me, I love. Cause
it's exciting. Yeah, absolutely. What is next on the horizon for you?
So we are on October 3rd, deep in the middle of harvest.
Yeah.
So I've fortunately brought all my fruit in already. So that's like hurdle one. This year I'm also making Sauvignon Blanc, same vineyard, same row, everything. It's gonna be really exciting to see the 2 years difference. The chemistry is obviously different already from the labs that I've gotten back. So it'll be fun to see how 1 year tastes compared to the next. I mean, Sauv Blanc's not really meant to be an aging wine, but it'll certainly hold well in the bottle for 3 or 4 years. So it'll be fun to have a nice little library of them to bring out on the road with me.
Oh, for sure.
I'm also making a sparkling version of it.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good.
I know. I've been telling every person I talk to, I've been like, this is my new exciting project.
Yeah.
Sparkling.
Everyone loves the little bubbles too. It's just nice.
Yeah. And there's not a ton of sparkling Sauv Blanc on the market either. I've seen Pet Nat. There's a producer who his wine was like a pretty big inspiration to me. I can't say his brand name to save my life though, because it's French. But he has a Pet Nat, and there's a sparkling canned version of it that I've seen. But yeah, I'm gonna do a force carved.
That'll be awesome. When is that? When are you planning?
That'll come out next spring.
Oh, okay.
So I was still in a sparkling, and then I just brought in some Syrah grapes too, which I got into this, like, I'm only gonna make white wines and rosés. I'm not really a red wine drinker. And like the further you get into this wine thing, eventually it catches you.
Another challenge too. You're like, well, how do I do this one? How are you sourcing your grapes? Like, how did you decide where to get your grapes from?
So I made that really great connection with OSU last year, just organically. I saw that they were doing some farming there, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I love education. I've spent way too much time in a classroom. So it's like, if I can also support what they're trying to do by buying my grapes from them, I think that's really cool. You know, that money goes right back into their research, which should in theory just make our wines better. And then the Pinot Noir Rosé I sourced from, I can't remember how we made the connection, but it was a gentleman who had just bought a home with a vineyard and didn't know what he was doing. And I was like, I'm a new winemaker and I don't know what I'm doing. So let's figure this out together. And it was really fun. Like, he like wrote up a contract for me, and that seems like it's a very unusual experience in this business. Everyone's just kind of like handshake, and I'll send you a bill a couple months later, and sometimes they forget and you have to remind them. And we were like very official, little contract and a deposit, and it was fun. But
speaking of like all the education pieces, do you have any mentors in this space or people that you lean on for advice?
So part of that incubator program, I was afforded some mentors for the first year and now going into the second year. So Christina Gonzalez of Gonzalez Winery based in Portland, and Corey Schuster from Jackalope, also based in Portland, were my mentors. Both are like 15 years into this industry, have been making their own wine for quite some time, have worked in wineries. I mean, they have a lot of experience of their own. So they were great. And now going into this season, we now have a new winery manager, Don Crank, who has worked for like Willamette Valley Vineyards. I can't remember where he just came from. I want to say Red Hawk.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's been really awesome. He's like a food scientist, so he can like nerd out on words that I don't understand.
Sure.
He's also making some Syrah, so it kind of gave me the confidence to be able to make that this year, having him do it side by side with me, because otherwise I'd be like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, it's helpful to do it with somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. So he actually just sent me like a 40 bullet point list after,
Oh my gosh.
after the chemistry came back in, like, here's what I think we should do. I was like, I'm gonna have to really study this email later.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. We'll get back to that one tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and then I've also been involved with Women in Wine, and they have a mentor-mentee program, and I was working with Leah from ERATH for the last 6 months. Like, we just had like a monthly visit where we would grab a beer and talk about life and what challenges I was facing at the current time. And I mean, she has a ton of experience.
Totally.
So,
Well, it's just nice because sometimes being an entrepreneur or doing a business like this can feel siloed.
Oh,
You're very alone, especially when you're a smaller production and you don't have employees and things like that. So it must be really nice to be able to reach out to some of the vets in the industry and just get their 2 cents. Like, am I crazy or is this normal? And for them to be like, you're not crazy. That's totally normal.
yeah, it's been really nice. And I think everyone in the industry is like more than willing to help. I mean, obviously everyone has their like limitations of time and money and all of that. But, I mean, anyone who's at the winery is willing to sit and chat with you for 15 minutes about what they're working on or what their challenges are, or, whatever's going on in the time. So, yeah, it's been really welcoming. It's very unique.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I know right now you're like showing up at like pop-ups and different markets and things like that. How can people find you or find your wine? Like, do you have a website that they can resource, or I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah. So I have a website, daggerdaisy.com. I have mostly Instagram, Dagger Daisy. I have a Facebook. I try not to go on there.
Yes. It's a little clouded.
Yeah. It was like, I go here for a purpose, and then I get like sucked into like some other.
That happens to me even on Instagram. I'll be like, oh, I need to post about the podcast or whatever. And then an hour later goes by and I'm like, oh, I totally got sucked into reels or something.
Yes. I mean, all of that stuff is like such a huge distraction. I also have ADHD diagnosed. Like,
Yeah.
it is just such a time suck, like going into those apps, but you have to do it to get your name out there. So, yeah, I post most of my pop-ups and stuff on Insta, and yeah, I've been doing farmers markets, little pop-up wine events here and there. The first few months was like kind of challenging to get stuff on the schedule.
Totally.
And book things.
Well, and you're a one-woman show too, so like it's the loading in, loading out, all the scheduling.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, you do have a day job, so that's like a lot of calendar management.
It is. Yeah, my calendar's a lot pretty hectic. But now that I'm like, I released my wines in May. Now that I'm a few months in, like things are just kind of falling in my lap, which
That's awesome.
like any business, like you put in so much effort and then eventually you get those returns, So it's been really exciting. Like this week alone, like being at the winery during harvest, being so busy, and I'm just like getting emails after email after email for events. And I'm just like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's all coming together.
Yeah. No, I love that so much. Do you have a goal to be in stores, or do you be in certain restaurants, or do you like the pop-up model?
I'm trying to not put too much pressure on myself for that. I mean, distribution would be fabulous, but I know that is a really high hurdle, and it's also not all it's cracked up to be.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be great if, you can just offload cases and cases of wine and get paid for it, but that's not always how it works out, and you're selling at a discount.
Well, and I know a lot of winemakers, like, that's not their goal. They want it to be very boutique-y or, like, more exclusive and stuff.
Yeah, I would love to have, like, a handful of, like, really quality placements that make sense. Those opportunities haven't presented themselves yet, so, hopefully in year 2 or 3, that'll be where I'm at. But I would love to do more in Salem. I mean, we have wineries in Salem, but I don't know that we have like a ton of representation, right? Most people are like, I can go 15 minutes this way and I'm in wine country. Like, why would I go to Salem for wine? So
Right.
I live downtown. I love downtown. I think I just saw we have a new wine bar down the
Yeah, I saw that
street.
too when I was driving in, and I was like, what is this?
I know. I think that whole building is like very wine centric. I think they have another restaurant in there that's very wine focused too. So I need to call them.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we'll continue. I'm very introverted, but I've been really enjoying going out and doing the events and talking with people about my wine and watching
it's something you put so much time and energy into. It's probably nice to share it and to see other people enjoy it.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. It's a lot of fun. I did a cheese event last weekend, and like I had a table that was just like sitting, and like they kept coming up and getting glasses of wine. They're just having like such a great time. I was just like sitting there observing them. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah. You're like, I made that. Thank you.
And these people are having like a great day, and they're making really cool memories, and like I'm a part of it, even if I'm just a little tiny part of it.
Yeah. Is the goal to ever be winemaker full time, or do you think you'll always do it more as a hobby?
You know, I could see that happening. Maybe. It's not necessarily a goal, but if it happened, I wouldn't be mad.
Sure. Yeah, it's a possibility.
I have a very demanding business that's taking up a lot of my time that I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. Like, once I do something for like 7 or 8 years, I'm like, I'm bored. I need to do something else. Like, right when things are starting to get easy, money starts flowing in, then I'm like, this sucks. I want to do something else.
Oh my gosh. I have that reputation too. Like, real estate's been my longest tenured, but I have changed roles, or I took on coaching, or I started doing different trainings or things like that. But otherwise, I was the same. I was like, well, okay, what's next? What's next?
It's like the 7-year itch. You're like, okay, now what am I going to do with my life? I need to try something different. I do think that winemaking will keep me busy for...
Well, it's going to change every year too, depending on the grapes and the variety and like everything that's going on.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, being 2 years into winemaking, I still feel like I have barely scratched the surface of wine in general. Yeah. So like, there's a lot to learn still, and a lot to discover, and
absolutely
places to explore, and so many things.
Definitely. What would you say to somebody that was like, oh, you make wine? I've always wanted to do that. Like, how do you respond to them when they say that?
That's like every person that comes up to me.
Yeah. I think they think it's like so romantic, and they don't realize like what all goes into it.
They do. Yeah. I feel like in my first production class at Chemeketa, I felt very fish out of water kind of vibe when I realized how cold and how wet it is. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. At that time, I had no intentions on becoming a winemaker. I was just like, okay.
You were just wanting to learn more.
Yeah. There are fixes for that, warmer clothes, wool socks, that kind of stuff. But I remember just being like, wow, like, this is really uncomfortable.
Well, it's a lot messier too.
Yeah. Like, I left Wisconsin for a reason. I don't like being cold. But I would definitely, if someone's actually serious about wanting to do it, I would encourage them to intern somewhere. I feel like I kind of got that internship kind of approach while still making my own label. Of course, we were just making wine. We weren't farming. I think a lot of the internships, you're going to be expected to do both. Which, if I was in a different place in my life, I think that'd be really fun to go do. But I'm 38 and I have responsibilities, and I can't just like up and leave for a couple months. But if you have the opportunity to do it, I think that's the way.
Yeah. I just met a student who works at a winery in Dundee, and I say I just met her. It was like 4 or 5 months ago, but she spent the whole summer in New Zealand for harvest. And like, but she's like, oh, I'm just going to pop over there for a little bit. And I was like, I wish I could do something like that. Maybe someday.
Yeah. I have a good friend who, Chemeketa has like a sister program with a school in Bordeaux. And I have a good friend from Chemeketa who just went over there. I think she's like in her mid-40s. And she's just like, am I nuts?
No. I think it really has to do with like where you are in life. Like for me right now, I have a 10-year-old. I'm not going to leave my 10-year-old for 4 months to go play with grapes. Yeah. Even though it sounds super
Maybe
fun.
4 days. But yeah.
But like when she's in college and she's like, bye, Mom, I'm going to be like, okay, then that would be the perfect time for me to do something like that.
For sure. Yeah. But I was encouraging her to go like,
absolutely.
Do it. And I wasn't sure if she was going to. And she just left recently. And like she's sending me pictures and I'm just like, man, I'm so envious.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much. what is next? I know you have a couple wines coming out. Do you have any like 5-year goals, 10-year goals, or are you just kind of taking it day by day right now?
I mean, when I got into this, I sat down and wrote a business plan and did projections. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and I never do those things. I just kind of start doing things.
Yeah.
Hope it works out. Yeah, hope it works out. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So I was like, I've never actually sold a product before. I've always been in a service-based industry. So I was like, this is so cool. Like, I can make a spreadsheet and I can figure out how much this costs. And like, granted, I might be a little bit off, but you know, once you get into the details, you're like, okay, I've got to make wine. I don't have time to like do spreadsheets all day. But when I did start, I kind of had a goal of where I wanted to be. I mean, you don't want to just make wine and not make any money. It costs a lot of money to make. So
And time.
And time too, yeah. And I mean, I'm really guilty of not accounting for my time and how much that costs, you know, and this business is a very good example of not counting my time and how much it costs.
For sure.
It's for the love of the game. So yeah, I would like to continue like just making a small growth every year. So in my first year, I did produce 2 tons. This year I produced 3. So like that feels really good. Like,
yeah. For anybody that doesn't know how much wine is in a ton, how many bottles is that normally, or cases?
I think it's about 50 cases a ton. People keep asking me that, and I haven't looked at those numbers since last year.
Well, sometimes they vary too, because you don't get to put everything in the bottle and things like that too.
Yeah. And sometimes some of the wine is good and sometimes some of the wine is not good.
Right.
For my rosé, there was some wine that I held back just because I didn't think it was good enough quality to put in the bottle. And I've had it sitting in the winery since last year. Like, what am I going to do with this? I was planning on making like some kind of cocktail with it. And, you know, life goes on. And then all of a sudden your next harvest is here. Yeah. And you're like, what am I doing with that wine?
Yeah. I guess I'll make jelly. Yeah. I have a friend that makes jelly out of like wine that she can't use.
That's fabulous. A good friend of mine, they're on like their 3rd or 4th leaf of their vineyard. So they're not ready to make commercial production, but they were going to make jelly. And I was like, that's so cool. I've never had it.
Well, and it's so niche-y in this area to be like Pinot Noir Rosé jelly. Like, that's so fun.
Yeah. And I mean, at farmers markets, you have a lot of people walking by that are like, I don't drink wine. Well, do you like jelly?
Yeah.
There was one lady at one of the farmers markets that had dried Pinot grapes in dark chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah. That sounds delicious. Yeah. There's also that brand, I can't think of it, but they make beef jerky, but they use like Pinot Noir flavored beef jerky, things like that. Yeah, it's so good.
That sounds so good.
Well, and it's nice on a charcuterie board when you're like having wine with like other,
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I actually was talking to a winemaker yesterday at my space who is like very experienced, has a restaurant in Portland, and you know, as a young winemaker, it can be like a little intimidating to talk to people like that. And he was like, try this wine and tell me what you think. And I'm like, oh God, this is a test.
Well, or what are you expecting? Like, am I supposed to use really fancy words, or can I just be like, oh, that's really good. I like that. It has a good body. Or are you supposed to use like all the technical terms?
Yeah. He was looking for a technical answer, which I gave the best I could. But I started telling him about my Pinot that I had left over. And he was like, use it to top your Syrah. And I was like, oh my God.
Genius.
I know. I'm like, I never would have thought of that. I was literally about to dump it down the drain.
Yeah. And, then you'll have a blend.
I know. Yeah.
That'll be great.
You don't need much wine to top. So, and Syrah tends to not have that much acid, where the Pinot has a lot of acid. So I was like,
it'll be a good balance.
Best idea ever.
You're like, I'm so glad that I stopped in here.
I know.
And took your quiz.
Just have to keep talking about the things, and eventually like ideas will come to you.
Definitely. Well, I really appreciate you taking your time. I know you have such a busy schedule, and I loved hearing more about your brand and everything that you have going on and sharing it with everyone. So we'll definitely have to keep in touch and see where you are next year. And I want to try the bubbles for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When the bubbles come out, you'll have to let me know.
I'm really excited for those. So yeah, I'll be sure to bring you a bottle by.
Perfect. Well, cheers. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you everyone for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.